Residents of rest homes are getting in trouble by purchasing something called the right to occupy. It is very common, and if you don't read the fine print, it can put you in an impossible and very costly situation. Here to explain more is Sue Chetwin from Consumer New Zealand. Morning to you, Sue.
Morning.
All right, so specifically now, we are just in this conversation going to talk about the right to occupy. Do you think there are people that spend hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars buying the right to occupy, always understand what they're getting for their money?
Look, no, I don't. It's very confusing, and the contracts for these licenses to occupy can be pages long. There needs to be quite a lot more information about it and independent information, but what in reality they are getting into is a lifestyle. So they are not buying real estate, and I think that's what people don't realise, that, you know, if they're spending, you know, hundreds of thousands of dollars, they cannot expect to get that money back. They can't, well, not all of it back. They can't expect to get any capital gains if there are any, and they can also expect to have to pay a lot of fees. So, you know, you really need to know what you're getting into.
Yeah. Now, one of the other things which can be a disaster for many people is they think, right, this is going to cost us $400,000, and yes, we're not going to get capital gain, but this is an investment in the last lifestyle we're going to have. But of course, for many of those people, they can't stay there through until the end because they're going to need potentially a level of care which they can't get in the development they've bought into. So you do have those disastrous situations where they have to move out to go somewhere where there is decent hospital care, and in some cases they find it very hard to on-sell their apartment.
Yeah, that is true, and retirement villages operate different systems of doing that. So that is one of the things that you really do want to look out for when you're thinking about a retirement village, is what actually do they offer. Do they also have rest home facilities? So that's kind of a step between the retirement village and the hospital. Or do they have apartments where you might be able to scale down from the slightly bigger villa that you're in? And then do they actually have the hospital facilities? And what all the costs are of shifting between those. You know, everything involved in retirement, and particularly in villages, involves cost.
Are there people out there in retirement villages with these sort of contracts who are just basically exploiting older people?
Well, look, it's certainly a huge industry. They talk about a sort of tsunami of grey heads coming. And most of the retirement villages in New Zealand today are run by huge operators, and they are making very big profits. These are very big companies, and getting money out of older people, you know, is, you know, I guess it's money for jam, because these people do require these kind of facilities. Now, having said that, most people actually do enjoy their experiences in retirement villages. I mean, you know, you're in a community, you might have the bowling green, the swimming pool, the outings. So, you know, it is, I guess it is a great life for the people that do enjoy it, and most people do. But you are spending a lot of money to get that enjoyment. Okay,
so the thing here is buyer beware. What you are investing in is lifestyle. There is no other investment associated with this, certainly no capital gain. It is going to cost you a lot of money.
Yeah, so you and the family really need to talk about that, because, yeah, if you're spending, you know, maybe $400,000, possibly more, you're not going to get a lot of that back when the older person dies. And the average stay in a villa is about sort of 7 years, and in the smaller apartments, you know, slightly shorter than that. So, you know, these are all about churn. That's you know, the hard reality of it.
You know, you could be spending $100,000 a year on lifestyle. All right, Sue, thank you so much for joining us again. It's Buyer Beware. Sue Chetwin, Chief Executive, Consumer New Zealand.